Dr. Morale, thank you so very much for joining me today. I'm having a great day. How about you?
I'm well. Thanks for asking.
Great. You've got some great information you can share with my audience, so let's get started. What do you want my audience to take away today?
Yeah, so I want them to know that achondroplasia exists, that it's the most common genetic form of skeletal dysplasia, which is a difference in the way the bones are formed. And I want them to know that it affects not just your bones and your height, but all parts of the body. So early diagnosis is important, so people can get the appropriate care throughout their lifetimes.
From what I understand, this is a form of dwarfism, so it's not just your run-of-the-mill going to happen to you. Is there a percentage of people that are impacted by this?
Yeah, so it is a type of dwarfism, which is a term that's kind of used in the lay community as well as the medical community to indicate someone who's short-statured. I will say some people in the dwarfism community prefer to use little people, so I kind of try to switch between them and be respectful of everyone's choices. It is not something that just happens, or well, I'll say it can just happen to you. You can be the first person in your family to ever have achondroplasia. About 3.5 in 100,000 people are affected by achondroplasia total, and that's among children in the United States. So it's not super common by any means, although in the world of genetics, it's pretty common.
I'm going to take this one from Instagram. My audience is on multiple platforms and streamers. And the poster wants to know, if you have this in your family and you are pregnant, what do you do?
Yeah. I'm glad that question was asked. So if you have it in your family, but you yourself aren't affected, if it's definitely achondroplasia, which would have to be diagnosed specifically on genetic testing, then if you're not affected, then the chance of your child having it is extremely low. However, if you yourself have achondroplasia, then you have a 50% chance of passing it on to each of your kids, or a 50% chance of your kids being unaffected. And I'm really glad to be here in partnership with Ascendis Pharma today to educate you guys about the diagnosis and about genetics in general, because that's one of my passions.
Okay, and the second part of their question is there genetic testing prior to having the baby on of this? And they say they don't have the disease, but it just runs in their family.
Yeah, so if you yourself don't have the disease and it runs in your family, you could go ahead and do genetic testing during your pregnancy, but that would involve what's called an amniocentesis, which is that needle into the belly, getting the fluid from around the baby. And that's, an involved process, although totally doable if that's something you wish to do. You can also go see a genetics doctor after the baby is born to say, hey, this runs into my family. Can you just check to see if my baby has any signs of it or needs genetic testing? The easiest way to make this simple for you and for your physician is to have the genetic test results from your affected family members. So if there is a chance your child could have it, they can test them for that exact genetic variant that runs in the family. That makes everything smoother, simpler, and sometimes cheaper.
To have this disease, what are some of the signs that you have it other than dwarfism or being a little person?
Right. So yeah, folks are shorter who have this diagnosis. They also have large head sizes compared to other people their age. And they can also have problems and complications in other parts of their body, including kind of the way the base of the brain sits in the skull, the way it connects with the spinal cord that can cause differences with problems with breathing. It can also have effects on the spinal cord lower down, as well as difficulties with hearing, recurrent ear infections, or breathing based on differences in the anatomy there.
We're in a state in this country, I can't talk about other countries, but in this country where we're starting to get very well at identifying problems, identifying disease, the traits of disease. Are there any answers on the horizon for this?
Yeah, for sure. So definitely. So achondroplasia, we know the genetic variant that causes it. We know the gene that's involved. And that means that doctors have also understood and learned about what signals are happening within the body that cause the bone growth to be different. And so there are medical treatments that are available specifically to those signals within the body for achondroplasia. And so people, if they want to learn about those, they can ask their pediatrician, and they can visit askaboutachondroplasia.com to learn not just about the medical, the medicines that are available, but also the whole body treatment, the multidisciplinary care that we recommend for all kiddos.
And what type of, this one's coming from Facebook, what type of doctor do you see to get treated for achondroplasia?
So we definitely recommend, of course, everyone continue seeing their pediatrician. We recommend seeing a geneticist to confirm the diagnosis. And within certain medical centers, genetics doctors will follow you throughout your lifetime. They'll also refer you to perhaps an orthopedic surgeon if you need bone surgery. Not everyone does, but if you need that, you might see an ear, nose, and throat specialist if you need ear tubes or other surgeries in that area. You might see a hearing specialist if you need help with your hearing, such as hearing aids. You might see therapists to help with development, or even a neurosurgeon, depending on the brain or the spinal cord effects. So it's a lot of different doctors involved, but having a good pediatrician and a good geneticist to kind of be the quarterback for all that is really useful and important.
Dr. Murali, I know you are a pediatric geneticist, and thank you so much for taking the time to stop by the Valder Beebe Show to talk about something that we need to learn more about. Have a good morning.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care.
Hi, I'm Valder Beebe, host of The Valder Beebe Show. We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/ValderBeebeShow. We upload new videos daily. Our site is a modern baby boomer platform with news and information important to boomers. Subscribe to YouTube.com/ValderBeebeShow and stay connected as I interview the world's most fascinating people.